Good morning, Louisa. How you feeling?
I'm going to say not too bad for being out till 5 a.m. last night. And do you know why? Because of the hangover cure.
Yeah, you did it.
So refresh everyone. What was it? I did the...
Oh, by the way, this is WTF Stories and Advice. I just thought I'd throw that in there because we just launched into it. And our bad advice, though apparently is good advice.
Very good advice, the hangover cure.
So the hangover cure is, and Louisa has followed my recommendation, 1 vitamin C before you start. Did you do the vitamin C?
I did the vitamin C.
And then you do 4 activated charcoal before you go to bed, unless you're drinking hard alcohol or like bad alcohol, like beer or
I did
wine.
it before I went to bed because I was on the body sods.
Okay, perfect. So 4 activated charcoal before you go to bed, as well as some NAC. You can, if you listen to the episode 2, you'll be able to hear it, and it's going to be on the webpage. So NAC, and then the next day some NAC, and you can do activated charcoal and B vitamins. I'm being really fucking random with how I'm explaining this, but anyway, so you feel good.
I feel good.
That's amazing.
It is the hangover cure.
Yeah, awesome.
So good. I'm going to be doing this every time. Everyone will be like, why are you so on form? I'll be like, no, nothing. Never
I just don't get
mind.
hangovers. It's amazing.
But last night, I have quite a good story.
Yeah.
So there was this gig on that all my friends were going to, and it was sold out, and I wasn't planning on going. And then I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go. Everyone was going. It was about midnight. I was quite drunk by this point.
Yeah.
So I got outside the place where the gig was, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do? There's this huge line. Got no ticket. I was like, okay, I could either try and sneak in, like sneak around the back, jump the fence or something. And I was like, no. I've got a better idea. So I went right up to the front. There was a bouncer, and then there was like, kind of it looked like someone who was part of the place, I don't know, someone important.
Someone with a clipboard.
Someone with a clipboard. So I went up to him and I was like, hi, Louisa, I've got 2 media passes. And he was like, Louisa. I was like, you got Louisa Delden? Oh, no, that's not me. And then he was like, oh, you're not on here. And I was like, James emailed me like 3 days ago, media pass. He said I'd have 2 tickets on the doors, 2 double passes. And then I pulled out my work like swipe card. Clearly doesn't mean shit. Like, what?
Did it say the hits on it?
No, it didn't say anything. I was just like, excuse me, like this is my media pass. And he was like, Louisa, oh yeah, here we go. James emailed you. Yeah, cool. Me and 4 friends walked straight in.
Fucking hell. So he didn't even question. No. Wow.
Just walked straight on through. 4 of us.
Oh, nice.
A sold out gig.
Woohoo.
I know.
Yeah. You're like, oh, it's so much about attitude, isn't it?
Yeah, fully. Like he was not going to be like, you're lying. Because I was like, excuse me.
Oh no. I have a similar story to that. I used to go to this one bar it's called 1885.
Oh, I know
does
the
it,
one.
Is
Pretty
it even
much. Yes, it exists.
It's still around?
I was there till 6 a.m. once waiting for Justin Bieber.
Oh,
He never came.
Yeah, so I used to always go VIP. I knew all the bouncers, and it was like you just breeze through, right? So I go along with this friend, a relatively new friend, and she's a model, and I'm kind of showing off. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, darling, we do not wait in line. So I walk past this, literally a line a block long. Walk in and everyone's like, oh, there's a line, and I was like, I don't wait in line. So I get up. It's a different fucking bouncer. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, Caroline? And he was like, get in line. And I was like, I don't wait in line. I always come here. And my friend's like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm like,
This
oh,
is
no.
embarrassing.
The whole line of people are like, get in line, fucking trying it on, Like, people are getting pissed, right? And I was like, I turn around and I was like, I don't wait in line. Yelled it at people, which, yeah, I was off my face. And anyways, I hear this woman go, that's Caroline Cranshaw. She doesn't wait in line. And this woman's sitting there, clipboard, and she's a client. And and she fucking works there. I didn't even know she worked there. And she was like, this is Caroline Cranshaw. She doesn't wait in line. Future reference, always let her through. And I was like, yeah. And I like turned around. That's right, people. Turn around and fucking they brought us right through to VIP. And yeah, my friend was like, holy fuck. Okay, go you. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
The worst is though, I like Friday last night. Yes, great situation that did happen. But I've also been very confident going to the front and being like, "Excuse me, like, can you let me through? I always come here." And I've been like, "Fuck off, get to the back." And then I'm just lingering around, like, "Okay, fine, I'll go to the back." Like this battler.
I find having an American accent, I just put it on really strong. I've also gone up and gone, I'm with Rolling Stone. We're trying to do a review on this place, but I'm not waiting in line. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Do you have any credentials? And I'm like, no. But they just like let me right through. It is all
I
about
should start
attitude.
using different business names to get into places.
Oh, I mean, you're a producer on one of the top radio stations in New Zealand. Why the fuck? You just use what you use, honey.
Excuse me.
You're like, bitch, get out of my way, okay? So, yeah. So, our advice here is have fucking confidence and
walk straight to the front.
And if it doesn't work, run. So, yeah.
You don't want to be lingering around there.
So, what's our next topic, Louisa?
Tell the poo. Tell the poo story. Everyone loves a good poo story.
Well, I have another poo story. I haven't told this to Louisa, but we did get a lot of let's say feedback of people liking the poo story from episode 1. So I have another one that a friend of mine told after hearing that poo story. And she was talking about how her and a group of friends are walking from one bar to the other. And there's like kind of this new girl that's with them. And she's like, I really have to go to the bathroom. You know, I'm busting. And they're like, just go in the alley. You know, it's almost there. And yeah, because I guess it was a little bit away because she literally said she was like about to like go in her pants. So she fucking pulls her skirt up and takes a shit in the alley. And they're just like, oh. Like, what the hell?
You did not know you were going to do that.
Yeah, I know. So she was like, my advice is whenever anyone says they need to go and you recommend a public place, ask them if it's a 1 or a 2. Because for her, it was actually a 2. But then I was like, did she walk to the bar like without wiping her ass?
I'm sorry, but you cannot poo on a night out. I've had someone be like, come to the bathroom with me at a party, and I'll be like, okay, whatever. They have pooed, and then it's either one of us who looks like the culprit when you walk out, and I was like, I am not getting blamed for this. This is all you.
Oh no,
that's terrible. Like, so then, like, obviously people were like, oh, you too, and I'm like, it was not me.
Were you in the stall with them?
Yeah, I went into the bathroom. I didn't know she was going to go. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, you know, you pee in front of girls all the time. And then I was like, that does not smell. No, what is that? No, thank you.
Stop it. Pinch it off. When I first got together with my partner, he told me that his one of his partners, I won't say who, used to poo in front of him. No. And would walk in on him pooing and like come in, and so he'd be on the toilet doing a shit, and she'd just like bust in and start doing her makeup and be like, what? I'm doing my makeup. And like, yeah.
No one should ever be so comfortable with someone that's okay.
I was like, what kind of fucking animal takes a shit in front of their partner? I'm sorry, but yeah, sorry, that's really actually quite judgmental. Animal. If you're into pooping,
well, you've got strong views on that.
No.
But like, I also agree.
No, I'm sorry, but no. Maybe wean in front of someone, but like, I'll
pee in front of anyone.
Anyone.
Literally? Okay, don't take that the wrong. I mean, like, in a bathroom.
You can make a bit of extra money in front of this from this, Louisa.
I don't mean it like that. No, I'm not into anyone's weird fetishes. I just mean that if I go to the bathroom with a girl friend or anything, I'm happily peeing.
Yeah. No, that's not a big. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah, taking a shit's a whole nother.
It's inappropriate.
Nah.
Disgraceful behavior.
So anyways, okay, so next topic. What else can we randomly just pull out of our asses and not poop?
I feel like there's something else, but I can't remember. I got told a story from a friend the other day. My friend works over in Perth. So she works at like quite a big company. There'd be like 300 or 400 people in her company, and her boss and this other guy had been having an affair. So they're both happily married, separate families with kids, young kids as well. So it's terrible.
Yeah.
And they'd been having this affair for 2 years, and both their families lived out of town a little bit, and they were coming in and sharing this apartment, and then going home in the weekends, and like full on. It'd been going on for 2 years.
Wow.
They came out. They worked in the same place as well. They came out. They told their families. They told the workplace, "This is how it is." 2 weeks of them being official couple, left their families, kids, everything. The guy goes, "Nah, not into it. Over it."
And did he go back to his wife?
Yep.
Wow. And his wife took him back?
I don't know those details, but also, like, clearly that just proves he was interested in the chase and, like, the secrecy of the affair and, are we going to get caught?
Wow.
And then when it all comes out...
No. And maybe it's the reality of actually what he's done.
Yeah.
And leaving his... Yeah.
After it's all not this big secret. Shocking.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when she told me. And yes, and they had to work together as well. So this poor lady left, and everyone was so mad that she left because everyone liked her more than him.
God.
And he was the one who was like, called it.
What an asshole.
Yeah, and those poor families and kids.
I had a client telling me the story of her family's affair, or, well, not her family's affair, that basically her... Why do I say basically? That's so annoying. I need to stop saying that. So her grandfather had a stroke, and so the grandmother, and he's okay, but he's in hospital. And her grandfather had this Saturday job for like 40 years, where he went and helped his mate Joe with like carpentry or something like that, right? So the grandmother calls Joe, who she had never met, to let him know that he couldn't come into work because he'd had the stroke. Well, Joe turns out to be Josephine. And this woman answers the phone, and here I go, basically. I'm a basic bitch. That's why I'm saying that. I need to delete that word. So Josephine explains that they had been having an affair for 40 years, that he never had a part-time job, and that was their day together. And
40
years. This had been going on.
And you don't pick up anything.
Every Saturday.
What?
Yeah. Like, how insane is that?
What? Every Saturday?
Every
40
Saturday.
Years.
40 years. Yeah. So the grandmother is just devastated, and then goes to the hospital to confront him, and the woman's there. And Joe. Joe is there, sitting next to her husband, holding his hand, and he tells her that he's now leaving her for this other woman. So it's like the whole family.
40 years.
40 years.
I can't even wrap my head around that. Like, how does that go on for 40 years?
Yeah. So anyways, and so he left his wife for this other woman, and it had been going on that long.
Also, what the fuck is Josephine thinking waiting around for 40 years?
I know.
Like, he was never going to leave. Well, he did after 40 years. But still, who waits 40 years?
I know. Once they've had a stroke and like, yeah.
It's like Rose from the Titanic waiting for Jack.
Oh, it's insane. Don't be Joe. That's my advice. And I don't know. I don't understand the whole deceit of affairs and all that.
I don't understand
just couldn't
affairs either. Like, if you're not happy with someone, then end it.
Yeah.
Don't go around behind their back.
It's really common, though. They say, yeah. What is it? 19% of women cheat, and they say 24% of men, which I actually think statistically that sounds low to me. As a therapist, I see so many people having affairs, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And
your head would be full of secrets and gossip.
The money I could make with blackmail. You have no idea. And I may tell a few of those stories, but anonymously. Yes. Oh, I have another one about affairs, but no. I'll save that for another show. Oh my God, it's a good one though. Okay, I'll tell it next one. Wait. Holy crap, if you want to talk about coincidences and affairs, and oh my God.
Episode 4.
I should have told that one first, but anyways, okay. Yeah, you'll have to tune in because it's a good one. No. Well, I can tell you another. This is a weird story.
Tonight?
Yeah, you'll sleep. This one's not too bad. So when I was training in hypnotherapy, I thought, well, I should go to, and we were training kind of in life path empaths and past lives and all this kind of stuff. And so I thought, well, I'll go to someone and get a past life regression. I had been hypnotized before to quit smoking, and that was kind of like what put me on the path of becoming a hypnotherapist. But I thought, oh, I'll just do this past life regression. It'll be quite funny. So I go along, and this woman does this past life regression with me. And in the past life, the one that I basically spent the most time on, I was the woman that had built the house that my mother and my stepfather were living in at the time. And so my mother and my stepfather bought this B&B in Sonoma in California, and it's called Vintage Towers, and it's like this beautiful old Victorian house that's got all these like different shaped towers on each corner of the house. And yeah, it's quite amazing. They don't own it anymore. And I had never been to visit it at this point. But when they bought it, I knew exactly what house it was. I remember my mother telling me she was buying this house. And I said, I know that house because my parents were divorced, and my father would pick me up for the weekend, and we'd drive through this town, and we used to get an ice cream right by where this house was. And we'd walk by this house, and I'd say, that's my house. Because I just love the house. And my dad would be like, oh, you better get a good job, because it's very expensive. And so it was more of me kind of joking that was my house. But so in the past life regression, I said my name was Marion Pinchauer, which is quite a random name. And that I had 2 sons, and one of them died when they were 10 months old. And that like my mother was the son that had died, and that I was Jewish, and I had grown up in the house next door, and that my maiden name was Abraham, and all this kind of stuff. And I died of like stomach cancer. And anyways, so I come out of this like past life thing, and I was like, that was weird. And I said to the woman, I just totally made all of that up. That's total bullshit. And she was like, oh, well, you should find out. And I was like, okay, well, I'll call my mother and tell her. So I call my mother, and I'm just kind of laughing, going, yeah, this is stupid, basically, but this is what happened. And she's like, oh, well, I'll go to the Historical Society. She's like, but I'm pretty sure their names were Pinchauer. She's like, but maybe you heard us say that, you could have heard that somewhere. And I'm like, well, that's possible. Because I wasn't totally like, no, that was my past life and blah, blah, blah. So she goes to the Historical Society, and the woman who built the house, her and her husband, her name was Marion Pinchauer.
Oh my God.
Her maiden name was Abraham, and she had grown up next door, and because the house next door was also a B&B, but it was called the Abrams house. So my mother was like, maybe you saw that Abrams, and that's how you got Abraham, and blah, 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 when you were a child.
Everything you said was fully correct.
But her maiden name was Abraham, and they changed the name to Abrams. So, yeah, and that she had a son that died when it was 10 months old.
Oh my God, so you had everything correct.
I had everything correct.
Well, then there's no way that you just heard that, or...
I couldn't have heard all of it.
No.
Right? So I don't know if I was actually the woman that lived in that house and blah, blah, blah. At that point, I had never set foot in that house because I was living in New Zealand and my parents were over there. But who knows? So I don't know if it's a past life, or maybe I just tapped into some collective unconsciousness or Akashic records or, something along those lines. But yeah, it was pretty freaky. And when we went back to the house, it was like, I knew that house. I knew where things went. I was like, there was a hidden thing here. I knew that there was like, from the closet, there was a thing that went downstairs, but it had been covered up.
Oh my God, nah. That's fully legit. You are that woman.
Yeah,
What's
it was
name?
weird. Marion Pinchauer. So that was weird. Yeah, my mother told a friend of hers who was a reporter, and they ended up doing this big story on it in the San Francisco Chronicle. And I said, if you use my name, I will kill you. Like, I will not.
I do not want this out there.
Yeah, so they did an article. They just referred to me as my mother's daughter. And we have a different last name. So hopefully no one knew it was me. But so one time when I went back, and I'm telling 2 of my kind of childhood friends who had come up for the weekend and were staying. And one of the friends, she's quite psychic, said, well, there's 2 ghosts that live in this room. When I first came in, it's like a woman and a younger woman. And I think that one of the younger women's wearing like a maid's outfit. But they were kind of giggling and hiding behind me. But they said, don't go in the closet. And she said, I'm not going to put anything in the closet. They don't want me to go in there. That's where they're kind of staying. So I have to respect their privacy. And I'm like, okay. And my other friend was like, whatever, you two are fucking Fruit Loops. This is such a load of shit. She's like, you guys are just trying to freak me out, blah, blah, blah. So she whips open the closet. Her hair, I swear to God, blows straight back. And there was just this like a massive wind came out of this closet like you have never seen in your life. And my friend goes, she ran outside.
Oh my God, this sounds like a movie. This kind of stuff is my worst nightmare.
She runs outside screaming her head off. And then she runs down outside the window and she's screaming, you fucking there, what the fuck is that? And we were like, we told you not to open the closet, Erin. You shouldn't have done that, you know? Yeah, we're just like laughing. But
see, if that ever happened to me, I would not sleep. Like, I would be petrified.
She wouldn't stay in the house. She was like, forget it. Yeah.
She's like, I'm out. I'm done.
She went and stayed at her parents'. She was like, no way. I am not staying in that house. It is fucking haunted. And it was. Like, you went in this one room, and they called it Scarlett's room, which is quite funny because that's my daughter's name.
Yeah.
But it was, it'd been named that forever. And it had red wallpaper and red rugs. And it was, so it was Scarlett's room because it's red. And we're talking California in the summer, right? So it was literally like 95 degrees outside or what, I don't know what that is, and 40 something. And you go in this room and it is ice cold, like a freezer. And you walk in and you're like, ugh, and you walk out and I'm like, what the hell? What is wrong with that room? It is ice cold. And they're like, oh no, it's just on the cool side of the house. I said,
you're like, no.
No. And my stepfather goes, oh, well, it was the surgery because this used to be a hospital.
Oh no.
And it was like,
no, I would not be staying there.
That house was so haunted. I would never stay upstairs. There was like one bedroom that was downstairs and I'd only stay in that room. I absolutely refused. It was too freaky. And like when I'd go there when my daughters were little and they'd start talking to people that weren't there and hi, there's the man. Yeah, it was pretty scary. So I definitely believe in haunted houses.
Oh God, I hope I can sleep tonight is all I can say now.
You'll be fine.
What was that supplement you were talking about last time that was good for addictions?
So my favorite supplement of all time, and I give it to every client that has a drinking problem or
You're
smokes.
looking at me?
No, I was looking above you actually. That vitamin B3. So vitamin B3, or they also call it niacinamide or niacin. I recommend getting the niacin form. Is amazing for quitting smoking, and if you feel like you're drinking too much or if you need to quit drinking. You don't have to quit drinking to stop. You don't have to quit smoking to start taking it, but vitamin B3 used to be called nicotinic acid, and it locks into the nicotine receptors in your brain, so very good for smoking cravings. It raises a chemical in your brain called GABA, and GABA is like the brakes on your nervous system, makes you feel calm and relaxed. It's like kind of Valium or lorazepam, some type of anti-anxiety kind of medication. Mm-hmm. Not that it's the same, but it has that relaxing effect, and so that's why it's really good, especially for alcoholism as well, or just drinking too much. Is when you have a drink, it's one of the fastest ways to get GABA into your system. So you have a drink, you feel relaxed. That's why you get that kind of like liquid courage, or it's anti kind of anxiety. The next day your GABA crashes down and you feel like crap. And that's part of why you feel anxious after you've had a night of drinking as well. So yeah, niacinamide is the form I really recommend because niacin actually can make you flush. And I recommend taking about 1,000 milligrams with breakfast and then maybe 1,000 with lunch. And it makes such a difference in craving alcohol and the process of quitting smoking. It used to be part of the original AA protocol. Mm-hmm. And the guy who started AA, a guy named Bill W., used it. And for him, he felt like that was what finally helped him get sober. And he told all of his friends and the people involved in AA and got like all these people to start taking vitamin B3. And they had amazing results. They had like 80% success rate with people taking that just like simple supplement that costs like $5. And as AA got bigger and bigger, they started to ban him from talking about it because they were like, you can't say it's like due to a supplement, because people just stay home and take the supplement. So the other people that are really obsessed with niacin or niacinamide or vitamin B3, whatever you want to call it, or the Scientologist. So when when you join the Church of Scientology, they have you take mega doses of B3 and like sit in a sauna for 3 days. And it's supposed to rid the body of addictive patterns. So, I mean, for me, I come from a family of alcoholics. Both sides have definitely had issues with alcohol in different periods of my life. And just taking that, I just take 1 a day for me, kind of maintenance dose. And I just never overdrink. I'm totally in control with alcohol. Obviously, I'm an ex-smoker, so I never want to smoke anymore. Not that I do anyways, because that's been a long time, but
not drink as much.
Oh, it really does work. So that's my little supplement recommendation of the day.
I'll be buying some of that.
And if you want more tips like that, I have a book called The Smoking Cure, and I go through supplements with that. It's how to quit without feeling like shit. And I think that's enough.
Done.
That's enough fucking stories
episode 3,
today.
I'm fizzing for episode 4 with the next affair story.
Oh, it is so good.
I can't wait.
It's so good. I should have told that in before. But anyways.
That'll be first story next up.
Definitely. All right. Thanks for listening. And if you like our show, definitely give us a bit of a review, a nice review.
Be nice.
And subscribe. Woohoo. Bye.